For years, banks promised innovation.
Can you guys hear me?
But they gave us fees and friction and fine prints. Today, all that changes. Introducing Private Key Bank from Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club, the world's first Bitcoin native credit union. Rebuilt from the ground up in the heart of El Salvador, a place where your Bitcoin isn't just stored, it grows. Earn 4% interest paid in Bitcoin, compounded, secured, and accessible. No middlemen, no hidden games, just your money working for you. Send funds across borders instantly, without SWIFT codes, without currency conversions. Pay anyone, anywhere, with a tap of a finger. This isn't banking as usual. This is freedom, beautifully engineered. The future of finance is finally here.
Good morning. The future of finance is finally here. This is Dr. J, Bitcoin Thursdays with Dr. J. I hope you all are having an amazing time. I'm here in lovely El Salvador in my little hotel room. So sorry for the not such a beautiful background, but the window outside is really pretty. Here's what my view is today. That's beautiful El Salvador, the land of pupusas and Bitcoin. There's this beautiful tree side that I'm looking at, which has orange flowers. And of course, it reminds me of Bitcoin. There's Bitcoin growing in the trees. All right. So today, I normally don't like to analyze other people's speeches as much, but President Trump's United Nations speech is a game changer. I need to analyze it. I need to share my thoughts with you because it really dovetails so directly into what we are doing that it would be a crime not to actually go in, dissect it, dive into it, and understand what this man is really saying. So that's why the title for today is Trump, Tariffs, and TeraHash. You all know what a TeraHash is, right? In mining terms. All right. So we have paid billions and billions of dollars every year to the United Nations. And when our president, our elected president, went to give a speech there, he got two things: a broken escalator and a broken teleprompter. The United Nations is a joke. It is a puppet tool in the hands of the globalists. And these are globalists who do not want your prosperity or your freedom. They only want it for themselves. And the sooner you start to realize this fact, the better off you are. Because the healing and the rebuilding process of our economy, of our country, does not happen until the harsh light of day, the sunlight is the best disinfectant, shines on those problems. And what problem am I talking about? The point is that global problems need global solutions. You see, so if the globalists can create global problems, they can then propose and mandate global solutions. And the hero like Fauci can swoop in and suck up all our taxpayer money and move it to the pharma industry, which then distributes it to the globalists. If you don't have global problems, you don't need global solutions. And the global mechanism of control starts to fail. What are the global problems? Well, let's just start with war. They have a war going on in Israel. What do they believe? They believe the vortex of the 9 Muslim nations around it are going to get sucked into this war, and then it'll suck China into it, and it'll suck India into it, and it'll suck Russia into it, and it'll suck US into it, and create a global problem. They want to create a global problem because without a global villain, you don't have a global solution. Ukraine war, same old story. That's the old Khazarian mafia empire. That's what Ukraine is. And today it is the biolab, bioweapon capital of the world. COVID is a man-made problem. It's a global problem. And so they were able to impose the global solution. And by doing so, they control us. They tried to jab every one of us. Thank God I didn't get it. My kids didn't get it. And a lot of you didn't get it because your eyes are open. We see the light of day. They told us that we couldn't go out and sit on the beach because that was bad for transmission. They told us to tattle on our neighbors and our relatives, kind of the Chinese communist style. And the pharma mafia came in with a solution. It was called a jab. And Jimmy Kimmel and all the clowns had little dancing people on stages to promote that jab. The military industrial complex creates global problems. The pharmaceutical industry creates global problems. And guess what? This dysfunctional, defunct, and hopefully soon to be defunded organization called the United Nations is the execution arm of the globalists. So here I'm sitting in El Salvador. Is this globalism? Not at all. This is raw and pure capitalism at work. Bitcoin was adopted by El Salvador as one of the first countries to declare it as a national currency. So what did it do? Capitalism says where there are opportunities, entrepreneurs were attracted there, like honeybees to the beautiful flower. And so we set up shop here. I'm sitting here in this hotel room, going to our credit union in a couple of hours, see how our wallet development is growing, explore the future of digital money. This is called capitalism. You go to opportunities. There's entrepreneurship. There's sovereignty. See, globalism pushes for an interconnected and intertaxed economy. What do I mean by intertaxed? What do you think this global carbon footprint bullshit is? It's to create a tax that you can tax every man, woman, and child, and every industry and every company across every country. That's what that carbon tax is. It's a global tax. Globalism wants homogenized people. There should be no white people or yellow people or brown people. They should be all, they start to look similar. It should become a homogenized culture. See, globalism is where there is no national sovereignty, where local traditions, beautiful traditions, are wiped out, where these so-called supranational bureaucrats and corporate interests, guised as unity, erode individual freedoms. It fosters dependency on far-off systems, diluting self-reliance, diluting accountability. So the counterpunch to globalism is localism, hyperlocal. Local initiatives is the cure to that globalist problem. You see, capitalism, when done correctly, stands in sharp contrast because it thrives in individual initiative, in your initiative, in my initiative. It rewards hard work. It respects sovereign borders. Globalization seeks to centralize power. Capitalism seeks to preserve identity, to preserve culture, and to preserve economic freedom. So when President Trump got up there on stage and looked out at that room, and basically said, folks, globalism is over. It's America first. It's sovereignty first. It's borders first. He is seeing this existential scourge of globalism very, very clearly. Trump's call is for sovereignty. Each nation standing tall, not bowing their heads to the globalist committees and these defunct organizations, none of which are elected. He ridiculed the global treaties that plunder American factories. So this is where Bitcoin comes in. This is where we come in. You see, the world has been run by the threat of granting or not granting IMF loans, of activating or deactivating the SWIFT system, to create sanctions using the dollar or not to create sanctions. These are the control mechanisms through which the globalists operate. But you know what? Bitcoin doesn't play by those rules. Imagine that the stuff that Dennis Porter's been talking about. By the way, he works with us now. Ben has brought him into the fold, and we're getting some great G2N information from him. Imagine that the strategic Bitcoin reserve becomes our digital Fort Knox. No foreign central bank out of Brussels can freeze it. No Brussels bureaucrat can regulate it. That's real sovereignty for the United States. America stays strong not by hoarding gold bars. It can hoard digital gold that no one can touch, no one can counterfeit. You know, it's historically so interesting because back in 1987, long before Trump had anything to do with politics, he ran full-page ads deriding why Japan was taking America for a ride. Decades later, he's standing here at the United Nations talking exactly about the same thing about China and Europe, taking America for a ride, taking our kindness for stupidity. See, with Bitcoin in President Trump's toolbox, tariffs are no longer the only lever that he can pull. You see, with Bitcoin, we can outlast all the trade wars with a treasury that is immune to devaluation. You already know that. But think of the power of that. If our country has the treasury that no one can outlast, no trade war can outlast, it doesn't devalue. In fact, it appreciates. That's power. That's sovereignty. You know, President Trump was so direct. He said to these European leaders, he said, your countries are going to hell if you don't stop this mass migration. Classic Trump, right? Direct, sharp, brutal. You want to cut off my teleprompter? Let me tell you exactly how it is. That's what he did, right? But beneath that statement, there is the underlying thesis. We need strong borders. We need a strong identity, the American culture, the American values, strong people. That's what Bitcoin's about. See, when wealth starts to flee under capital controls, the foreign banks become irrelevant. America keeps their own financial home secure. And just like he's building that border wall where he said no illegals were able to come in, Bitcoin provides that digital border wall for our wealth. The Bitcoin wall is what will preserve America's wealth. It's really important. And of course, tariffs bring back American jobs, right? We're not going to be plundered by other people. Now imagine as that starts to happen, and that is going to happen, trade settlements are going to start happening in Bitcoin. Neutral, global, final. If we sell steel, let them pay in Bitcoin. We hold it in our reserve. Suddenly, US starts to dictate not by printing money, but by anchoring our wealth and our assets in an asset no one can print. But another aspect that I really liked about President Trump's speech, and all of this, I'm going to tie this in with the stuff that we are doing. He talked about renewable energy. He praised fossil fuels. But most importantly, he talked about energy independence. Now, this is where Bitcoin makes the energy equation bulletproof. You see, mining turns all the wasted energy, the flare gas, the stranded hydro in the Midwest, even small-scale nuclear reactors. It converts that excess energy into hard money. All of you who are participating in our mining pools fully understand what we're doing. We pay tens of thousands of dollars of energy bills every month for our mining locations. But at the end of the month, you all get a little piece of your Bitcoin directly into your wallet. Every single kilowatt of energy America produces has the potential to become a weapon of wealth. We take all that energy and convert it to wealth. That's what we are doing through mining. And when he says, drill, baby, drill, every barrel of oil, every cubic feet of natural gas can spin those miners and enhance America's balance sheet. Let me tell this to you right now, and you'll hear all the senators and congressmen talking about this in a few years. Energy dominance through Bitcoin is financial dominance. If we dominate the energy markets, if we take all sorts of energy, we take all our wasted energy and power up Bitcoin mining across the country, we will convert all that energy into money, into wealth. Wealth that will pay down our national debt, wealth that will pay for our kids' glorious future, for a beautiful society. See, 10 years ago, they used to burn up all the excess gas like a giant torch in the sky. I've passed so many of these things at night. You can see these flares in the sky. You see the Bitcoin miners just pull up in a rig. We place it next to that flare gas and turn that flame into Bitcoin. See, that's not just energy dominance. It's monetary alchemy. That's capitalism. That's localized action. And that's what's going to beat globalism. See, when President Trump says, I ended 7 wars, his message is clear. We don't want wars. We want a strong military. We want the strong military backed by a strong balance sheet which is so if our balance sheet that funds and military is one of the largest fundings. I hope you still see me. My screen cut out for a second. We can place our enemies into submission. Our balance sheet. That's the new war. See, Bitcoin reserves are the financial aircraft carriers projecting strength across the globe without firing a shot. So, do you know what is the natural extension to free speech? The natural extension is free money, freedom money. Just like speech without censorship empowers us citizens. Look what's happening with Comey. Look what's happening on X. Thank God Elon Musk bought that platform. We're getting to express our thoughts the same way money without gatekeepers empowers entrepreneurs. No bureaucrat deciding which transactions are approved. No big bank closing out your account or asking you why you're sending $600. That's what entrepreneurship is. In other words, Bitcoin is the First Amendment of finance. That's the way we need to look at it. Remember the Canadian truckers who had their bank accounts frozen? Now imagine if President Trump ever goes to that another United Nations speech, he goes and says something like, hey, you Canadians, in America, our people don't need permission to spend their own money. Imagine, you don't need that Trudeau's signature to buy your own groceries. You have Bitcoin. That's powerful. That's what we deserve. So whether President Trump intended or not, Bitcoin is the secret lever that is making his America First blueprint sustainable and achievable. And yes, of course, he knows that. He's intentionally, deliberately, and in a very thoughtful manner moving our country in that direction. And as President Trump would say, we are making America rich again, folks, very rich. And with Bitcoin, we'll be richer than ever before. Believe me, we'll be richer than ever before. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a quick break, a commercial break, and then I'll be right back. And we're going to talk today about what Bitcoin Band Crypto Club is doing, what our programs are. I'm going to remind you of all the things we have available to you. And I need you guys to call us and participate in these things because the future is bright and you are part of it. Over to you, Sherpa.
Un aplauso para los miembros.
All right, man. That music makes me want to dance as well. What a great way to see what we are doing here in El Salvador. It's exciting. Look, we're building programs. We're building programs with the core thesis of local, sovereign, financial freedom, and the strongest asset on the balance sheet, our money. That's what we're about. I'm going to give you this number first, 941-413-8080. Write it down, program it into your phones, because that's the only number you need to call or text as I tell you and remind you of all the programs we already have for you. Look, every single Bitcoin Band Crypto Club is a node. Every one of you who's contributing is a blockchain for digital freedom. That's what Bitcoin Band Clubs are. We are nodes. We have hashes, TeraHashes, and you are the participants creating the blockchain, solving the blocks. So when I say, listen, if you are a Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club member, you better have some Bitcoin. Otherwise, you don't deserve to be a member. I don't care if it's a 0.001 Bitcoin or 0.1 Bitcoin or 100 or 1,000 Bitcoin. You need to have your wallet. You need to have Bitcoin. We have the confidential Bitcoin purchase program. You can quietly accumulate, strategically time, and have institutional level custody. While the public is still chasing headlines on how to secure sats, we are literally buying millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin for our members confidentially and sending it to their wallets. This is a program that's available to each one of you. Whether you're $5,000 or $500,000, it makes no difference. We have structures, partners, relationships, operational expertise to buy Bitcoin for you confidentially and send it to your wallet. What's the number? 941-413-8080. Well, that's not all. We got more. We got the Home to Hodl program. President talks about the American dream. I saw a very disturbing statistic the other day. Age 30. In 1960, 30-year-olds, 52% of them had a family, a wife, kids, and had a home. Today, that number is 12%. It is disgraceful. Today, 30-year-old people, 12% own homes. That is not the American dream. That is not what our country is about. That's not prosperity. Folks, we have the Home to Hodl program. It takes equity from your home, allows you to invest it into the strongest of assets. We have programs where people sell their homes, take the proceeds, invest into Bitcoin and mining, and the money that they get from that every month allows them to pay a mortgage for an even bigger house and get cash flow. We are helping families anchor their mortgage and savings directly into Bitcoin. Your Bitcoin appreciates, it's your digital gold. We have these programs available for you. If you don't have the asset, if you don't have the money up front to buy Bitcoin, well, take a loan. We have two kinds of loans. We have 0% credit card loans based on your credit. And we also have 5 to 7 year term loans that you can borrow a chunk of money, $250,000 up to that, if you have a job and you've got a decent credit. And you can take that, make monthly payments, and buy all the Bitcoin while it is still not rocket shipped up. You know that M2 money supply, which Bitcoin tracks fairly closely to, has been going through the roof. And Samson Moe's talking about, based on that M2 money supply, it should be at about 250. So do I expect Bitcoin to go up? Damn right I do. And I think it will. There are all kinds of market pressures right now that are causing it to just move in the sideways direction. But don't forget, we have exceeded almost 150 days over 100,000 in Bitcoin. That's becoming the base. So there's a lot of upside, not a lot of downside. You got to secure it, folks. You got to secure your Bitcoin. Really important. Whether it's a home to hodl, whether it's a loan, whether it's a purchase that you do confidentially, just participate. Call that number, 941-413-8080. That's how we're going to do deals. Of course, we have the Bitcoin mining program. We're going to keep on creating new pools. We already have 5 pools, 6. And we are moving forward full steam ahead. Every month, we're creating millions of dollars in our pools, and we are investing it into Bitcoin mining facilities. We have over 7 physically located facilities around the world right now that we have invested our dollars, which we have pooled together as a club. We are using stranded gas. We are using undervalued energy streams. We have locations in Dubai, and we have locations in Texas and Idaho and Iowa and Alabama and Des Moines. So we're doing it. This is real. We're sending out checks to our members every month, people who have invested in Bitcoin mining. And we are converting energy into digital gold. That's what we're doing. It's really powerful. And President Trump's son is doing as well. We know we're on the right path. And as we continue to grow this, we have a plan. We now have operational experience in deploying thousands of rigs around 3 different countries. Now it's time for us to explore how we will build our own mining facilities. And we're doing that. You'll hear more about that. I'll be in Dallas and Houston October 8th and 9th and 10th, meeting with some of the consultants, folks who can find us the right kind of energy sources, the right kind of land, the right kind of infrastructure, So we're working on that. Those are investments that are going to be brought in through the private key capital. I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. But here's a really exciting program that I want to introduce to you today related to mining. It's the retail mining program. It's tokenized TeraHash. What does that mean? It means everybody gets a piece of the action. And how do we do it? You see, we have partnered up with one of the largest retail mining companies in the world. It's called Go Mining. And we have I literally structured that deal a couple of days ago. And what they have done is they have millions of miners all around the world, but their business model is different. They sell TeraHash. So you can go in, if you have $26, you can go and buy 1 TeraHash. We're going to just send you the link. We will work with our partners, and when you use our link, you'll get a 5% discount on their normal retail price. Whether you have $25 or $25,000, you can actually go and buy a certain number of TeraHash. You don't own the machines. You don't get the depreciation like in the mining pools that we do. That's for anybody investing more than $100,000. There's a better economics for that. It's a wholesale model. But the retail model will allow every single member of our club to get their piece of action of mining. You can invest small amounts of money. You can buy a certain number of TeraHashes. And at the end of the month, when all of their profitability is calculated across all of their 9 mining locations, whatever the profit per TeraHash is, you receive that in your wallet. It's transparent revenue generation. We wanted to do this because Ben told me, he said, Jay, we got to have programs that everybody can participate in. And I said, boy, how are we going to do that for mining? It's a capital intensive, energy incentive, time intensive. It's a difficult process. But now we have it for you, folks. I will be launching, I'm publicly announcing this right now. The partnership has been inked, and we will send out within the next week or so the link to every single member of our club who wants to participate, at least learn what mining is. You can own a little piece of the action. Now, of course, if you want to invest $100,000 or more, you'll come to us and we'll do a better economics. You aren't buying retail, you're buying wholesale. Okay, so that's a program that's coming. We have Beef plus Bitcoin programs. Amazing things are happening in that area. Food sovereignty is a big deal. American made is not just manufacturing. American made is American beef, American cattle. We should know what's going into our food, into our children's food. And with Texas Slim, We have partnered on the Beef Plus Bitcoin. We're also having initiatives not only of sending you beef directly to your home every quarter, which is the Beef Plus Bitcoin program, but also working on tokenizing beef herds. And that is something that will be coming, where we will be rebuilding American cattle and American ranchers, one ranch at a time, with Bitcoin. And finally, the umbrella, private key capital, right here, private key capital. This is not just a company. It's our holding structure. It's our fortress, our central command. Inside private key capital is far more than just a credit union. It'll be a portfolio of projects. We're going to move all of the mining projects into private key capital for the energy and mining vertical. We're going to move the hotel and other resorts that we purchase, airlines that we build, into our hospitality vertical. We're going to have agriculture, beef vertical. We're going to have a diversified Bitcoin economy. There's going to be sovereignty in finance, in food, in fuel, in energy, in families. Private key capital will ensure that every single member of our ecosystem of the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, through the club, has access to investing into multiple types of Bitcoin ecosystem projects. Whether it's the TeraHash tokenization, whether it's investing into hotels and resorts, whether it's investing into mining, whether it's investing into different kinds of yield generating products, brokerage products. We're going to make America sovereign again and Americans sovereign again through the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Clubs. We're going to keep expanding our clubs. We're going to keep funding the expansion of these clubs. We're going to keep funding the expansion of mining capabilities. We're going to get into energy production and generation as it ties to Bitcoin mining and converting energy into gold, into digital gold. These Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club programs are built for sovereignty. It's built for you. When you become wealthy and you become prosperous, and we together as a community are able to not only fill our cups, we will then fill the cups of others. Nathan is working hard towards creating the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club Foundation idea. We're going to give back. We're going to give back to people who are not as wealthy. We're going to give back to cancer charities. We're going to give back to children's education, Bitcoin education. We're going to give back to our veterans who need help. So this is not just so that our wallets grow exponentially, which it will, because we are ahead of the curve. We are front-running the banks. We are front-running governments. We have confidential ways to buy millions of dollars of Bitcoin. Our homes are tied to Bitcoin as an asset. Mining is monetizing energy. Tokenized access is where the future is going. Clean beef is on the table for your children. We have Bitcoin vaults at the private key capital. Folks, this is not a little program. This is a vision for what Americans will do. But first, Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club members will do. We are running the beta test. You are running the beta test for all Americans. How to be wealthy, how to be successful. And when you become wealthy and you become successful and you join us, because look, I'm already getting phone calls from amazing people in our club who are saying, Jay, as we build this private key capital with these different verticals, I want to participate in it. I want to come run a fund. I want to be a manager for this and that. We're getting wonderful, amazing feedback from all of you. And together, We're going to create something far bigger than any one of us could ever do. And it will become the shining light, the node, which can be replicated locally. You see, when we put that natural gas turbine and we own that turbine and we plug in the natural gas line and we generate power and we put the Bitcoin mining rig right next to it and we make our Bitcoin, which goes into our banking treasury, which then gives out loans on digital capital, digital loans on digital capital, we have verticalized a stack. See, no one can shut us down. That node will keep running. Then another one, then another one, and another one. See, Bitcoin will not go down because someone turned off the electricity. We're going to have sovereign nodes, localization, not globalization, localization. That's the answer. That's the way forward. And as we embrace that strong foundation of Bitcoin economy, the new Bitcoin world, the new Bitcoin economy. It's not the old world order anymore. It's the new Bitcoin order that is going to reshape over the next 10 years the world as you know it. Almost every part of our world will be impacted by a transformation affected by Bitcoin, by digital money. And guess what we are doing? We have identified 5 or 6 different areas: retail, hospitality, food sovereignty, financial services, energy and mining. These are areas that will be transformed with Bitcoin. And we're not just talking about it, folks. We've done it. It ain't bragging if you've done it. We have invested into hotels that we're making Bitcoin hotels. We have invested into mining and we're making Bitcoin. We've invested into loan programs. We've invested into credit unions. We're redefining how new products with digital currency is being created. We're going to be creating our own stable coin, private key capital stable coin. We're going to create our own liquidity. We're going to give loans against that. This is a vision that we're going to drive down, and you are going to be driving it. So, in closing, greetings again from San Salvador, beautiful country, beautiful people. I'm so happy and so glad that we are here. We're fighting a good fight. I'm going to go and see what the dev team is doing right now, see if our wallet is ready, because as soon as our wallet is ready, you will be able to keep and save your native Bitcoin directly in the credit union's secured vaults and get 4% yield on it. This is the new Bitcoin order. I love you guys. Have a fantastic day. I hope you will remember the key message: localization, hyperlocal, vertically integrated stacks, sovereignty, freedom. That's what we are about. That's what Ben wants us to do. And we're going to carry this charge forward. And as we shape the world around us, as the Bitcoin Ben Club, as a node, hundreds of nodes will start to emerge because our model is for the people. Our model is for everyone. Our business model doesn't just work for the rich, it works for everyone. It's sovereign money, and it's in your wallet. Call 941-413-8080. God bless you, and God bless America.
For years, banks promised innovation, but they gave us fees and friction and fine prints. Today, all that changes. Introducing Private Key Bank from Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club, the world's first Bitcoin native credit union. Rebuilt from the ground up in the heart of El Salvador, a place where your Bitcoin isn't just stored, it grows. Earn 4% interest paid in Bitcoin. compounded, secured, and accessible. No middlemen, no hidden games, just your money working for you. Send funds across borders instantly, without SWIFT codes, without currency conversions. Pay anyone, anywhere, with a tap of a finger. This isn't banking as usual. This is freedom, beautifully engineered. The future of finance is finally here.